As the name suggests, Sky, that is societal impact through cloud and artificial intelligence, it is an incubation platform within MSR for us to ideate on such research ideas, work with our collaborators like academia, NGOs, social enterprises, startups, and to test or validate our hypothesis through very well defined real world deployments. At Sky, it's an interdisciplinary team of social scientists, computer scientists, software engineers, designers, and program managers from the lab who come together for creating, nurturing, and evaluating our research ideas through real world deployments and validations.
Welcome to the Microsoft Research India podcast, where we explore cutting edge research that's impacting technology and society. I'm your host, Sridhar Vedantam. At Microsoft Research India, research focused on societal impact is typically a very interdisciplinary exercise that pulls together social scientists, technology experts, and designers. But how does one evaluate or validate the actual impact of research in the real world? Today, we talk to Tanuja Ganu, who manages a societal impact through cloud and AI, or Sky Group, in MSR India. Sky focuses on deploying research findings at scale in the real world to validate them, often working with a wide variety of collaborators, including academia, social enterprises, and startups. Tanuja has been recognized as one of MIT Technology Review's Innovators Under 35 in 2014 and by IEEE Bangalore as a Woman Technologist of the Year in 2018, and her work has been covered by top technical media. Tanuja, welcome to the podcast. I'm really looking forward to this particular edition of what we do here because I know that you manage Sky and it's quite an intriguing part of the lab. Now, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, thanks, Sridhar, for having me on the podcast today. And yes, I'm not a full time researcher, but I'm engineer by training, and I have done my master's in computer science. Over the last decade or so, my work is primarily at the intersection of research and engineering, and it's on the applied research side. So, throughout my experience and journey working at research labs and startup, I'm very much interested in taking a research idea through the entire incubation phase to validate its applicability in real world problem settings.
So, Tanuja, I know you manage this thing called Sky within the lab, and I think it's a very interesting part of the lab. Talk to us a little bit about that, and especially expand upon what Sky, the term Sky itself, stands for, because I myself keep tripping up on it whenever I try to explain it.
Yes, Sridhar. So, since the inception of our lab, the lab has been doing very interesting work in the societal impact space. Additionally, with the advances in artificial intelligence and cloud based technologies in recent years, there are increased opportunities to address some of the societal problems through technology and amplify its positive effect. So, as the name suggests, Sky, that is societal impact through cloud and artificial intelligence, it is an incubation platform within MSR for us to ideate on such research ideas, work with our collaborators like academia, NGOs, social enterprises, startups, and to test or validate our hypothesis through very well defined real world deployments. Also, our location in India allows us to witness and carefully analyze various socio-economic challenges. So, the solutions that we ideate are inspired by Indian settings and, in many cases, equally applicable to different parts of the world.
Interesting. So it sounds like there's a fair amount of difference between the kind of work that Sky does and between what the rest of the lab actually does in terms of research.
So, at MSR India, our research work is mainly along three different axes. Firstly, advancing the state of the art in science and technology. Second is inspiring the direction for technology advances. And the third important axis is building the technology for driving societal impact. So, Sky is primarily focused on societal impact axis, and many of our projects also do have very strong academic and technological impact. At Sky, it's an interdisciplinary team of social scientists, computer scientists, software engineers, designers, and program managers from the lab who come together for creating, nurturing, and evaluating our research ideas through real world deployments and validations. So that's really the difference in terms of the other type of research that we do at lab and what we do at Sky.
So, when you decide to take up a project or accept it under the Sky umbrella, what do you actually look for?
Yeah, we look for a few things for defining a Sky project. So, firstly, it should address a significant real world problem and should have a potential to scale. The second thing is the problem should offer interesting research challenges for our team. The next thing is whether we have credible partners or collaborators with domain expertise to deploy, evaluate, and validate our research. We also look for how we can define rigorous impact evaluation plan for a project. And lastly, we look for what are the feasible graduation paths for the project within 2 to 3 years of time horizon.
What do you mean by graduation?
So there are different ways in which a particular project can complete its successful execution at a Sky center, and that's what we are really terming it as a graduation. And there could be really different types of graduation path depending upon each type of project.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the projects that you're currently doing under the Sky umbrella. Because to me, from what you've said so far, it sounds like there's probably going to be a fairly wide spread of types of projects and quite a large variety in the type of things that you're doing there.
So yes, Sridhar, that's very true. We are working on a very diverse set of projects right now. And so to give a flavor of our work, I would discuss about two or three projects briefly. The first project is called HAMS, that is Harnessing Automobiles for Safety. We all know that road safety is a very critical issue. And according to World Bank report, globally, there are 1.25 million road traffic deaths every year. In India, there is one death every 4 minutes that happens due to road accidents. So, to understand and address this very critical issue of road safety, HAMS project was initiated by our team at MSR, including Venkat Padmanabhan, Akshay Nambi, and Satish Sangameshwaran. HAMS provides a low cost solution which is being evaluated for automated driver license testing. HAMS includes a smartphone with its associated sensors like camera, accelerometer, etc., that is fitted inside a car. It monitors the driver and the driving environment, and using AI and edge intelligence, it provides effective feedback on the safe driving practices. So at present, HAMS has been deployed at Regional Transport Office in Dehradun, India, for conducting dozens of driver license tests a day. And the feedback from this deployment is very encouraging since it provides transparency and objectivity to the overall license testing and evaluation process. The second project is in the domain of natural language processing called Interactive Neural Machine Translation, which was initiated by Kalika Bali and Manojit Chaudhary in our NLP team. So, when we look at this problem, there are 7,000 plus spoken languages worldwide, and for many, many use cases, we often need to translate content from one language to another. Though there are many commercial machine translation tools available today, those are applicable to a very small subset of languages, say 100, which have sufficient large digital datasets available to train machine learning models. So to aid human translation process as well as for creating digital dataset for many low resource or underserved languages, we combine innovations from deep learning and human computer interactions and bring human in the loop. So when we talk about INMT, the initial translation model is bootstrapped using small dataset that is available for these languages, and then INMT provides quick suggestions for human translators while they are performing translations. And over time, it also helps in creating larger digital datasets, which would help in increasing accuracy of translation for such underserved languages. So, in INMT, we are currently working with three external collaborators called Pratham Books, Translators Without Borders, and Swijinet Swara to evaluate and enhance INMT. So, just to give few examples, Pratham Books is a non-profit publisher who would like to translate children's storybooks in as many languages as possible. Translators Without Borders is a non-profit who is working in the areas of crisis relief, health, and education, and they would like to evaluate INMT for an Ethiopian language called Tigrinya. Our other collaborator, Sijanet Swara, is working with INMT for collecting Hindi Gondi dataset. And just to give you one last flavor of one more project.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was curious. How do you actually go around selecting or identifying partners and collaborators for these projects?
When we started thinking about Sky projects, last year we had initiated a call for proposals where we invited external partners and collaborators to submit various ideas that they do have and the process that they have in addressing some of the societal impact projects. And we interestingly received a huge pool of applications through this call for proposal. We received more than 150 applications through that. And through careful evaluation process, as we discussed earlier, we finally selected a few projects to start under Sky Umbrella.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You wanted to, you're speaking about another project?
Yeah, so just to give one more flavor of the project that we are currently doing, which is addressing another important issue of air pollution. So, air pollution is another major concern worldwide with an estimated 7 million deaths every year. And when we look in India, it's even more serious problem since 13 out of 20 most polluted cities in the world are in India. So, to solve the air pollution problem, it is important to get correct monitoring of pollution levels, their timely and seasonal patterns in more granular manner, that is from multiple locations inside a city. So, apart from sophisticated and expensive air pollution monitoring stations, which are already available, there are low cost air pollution sensors which are being deployed for this purpose. But the low cost sensors tend to drift or develop fault over time, and the entire monitoring and analytical insights are dependent on reliability and correctness of this IoT data. So, taking these things into account, we are now evaluating our research project called Dependable IoT for these low cost air pollution sensors. Dependable IoT helps in automatically identifying and validating the drift or malfunction in the sensors and notifies for recalibration or replacement. So, currently, we are working with a few startups in this space to evaluate dependable IoT technology. And as the project name suggests, this is not only limited to air pollution sensing, but this technology is applicable for many other use cases for IoT sensing in agriculture, food technology, or in healthcare. So I guess this gives you a view on some of the diverse projects that we are doing and working on at present in Sky.
Yeah, so this dependable IoT thing sounds quite interesting. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially what we are saying is that we are trying to figure out ways in which we can ensure that the data that we're receiving in order to extract information from it and make decisions, uh, we're actually trying to figure out or trying to make sure that the data itself is solid.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's correct, Sridhar. And it's like monitoring the monitor, right? So uh, while we are doing the IoT monitoring and sensing, we need to make sure that the technology that we are putting in place is being monitored and it's giving us reliable and correct data.
Great. Uh, Now, what's also coming across to me throughout this conversation is that uh, given the variety of projects and the variety of collaborators that you're looking at in Sky, would I be right in saying that the kind of people that you have in Sky, in addition to the researchers, obviously, who or your internal collaborators, the people who are part of Sky, are they a very diverse and varied set of people?
Yes, absolutely true, Sridhar. So, as we discussed earlier, SKY is an interdisciplinary team that consists of social scientists, CS researchers, solid software engineers, and designers. And we also have a program called Sky Fellows, where fresh undergraduates or the candidates who are already working in the industry can join on a specific Sky project for a fixed time period and contribute towards the development of Sky project. So, particularly in Sky, in addition to all these technical or academic skills, we are also looking for people who have passion for societal impact and willingness to do the field work and deployment to scale a research idea.
Okay, and you might at any point of time be working on, say, four, five, or six projects. Uh, what happens to these projects once they're completed?
Yeah, so I would say each project would have a different graduation plan. So whenever a project is complete, from the Sky perspective, we call it as a graduation plan where we would define how this project would then sustainably grow further, internally or externally. And this graduation plan would be different for different projects depending upon the nature of the project. So, for some of the projects, the graduation plan could be an independent entity that is spun off to take the journey of the project forward by scaling the initial idea to more people, more geographies, or for more use cases. A very good example of this type of graduation plan is a MSR project called 99 Dots, where researchers like Bill Thies and others at Microsoft Research started this project to address medical adherence for tuberculosis. Over the years, this work has significantly grown, and there is an independent entity spun off called Everwell to take the 99 Dots journey forward. The other type of graduation plan can be putting our work and technology in the open source, wherein the external social enterprises, NGOs, or our collaborators can build on top of it and take the solution forward at larger scale. The example of this is our work on interactive machine translation, where we have open sourced our initial work and various collaborators are now using, validating, and building on top of this technology.
Okay, and does the work that you do in Sky, or say the validation that you're looking for from research projects, or the validation you're looking at of research projects through Sky, does that feedback further into the research itself, or does it kind of just stay at Sky?
So it has two, or I would say it would have multiple pathways, but primarily the first thing is certainly the work that we are doing is we are validating certain research hypotheses that we do have. So some of the output or outcome of the Sky projects is feeding back into the research areas and validating or invalidating the hypothesis to say how the technology is helping to solve a particular research problem or not. But also, if the intervention is successful, it would be useful for external collaborators, internally, externally, for them to take up this idea forward and utilize the technology that we have built at Sky to taking it to larger scale.
Okay, so once again, coming back to the fact that the projects that you do are of such different nature, how do you actually even define success metrics for Sky projects?
Yeah, this is very interesting question, Sridhar. So, the whole purpose of Sky, as the name suggests, is about bringing social impact through technology innovations. So, there is no one fixed set of metrics that would be applicable for each and every project at Sky. But our success metrics for these projects are geared towards validating whether technological interventions can support the people and ecosystem and actually help address a specific problem or not. And if it does help solve the problem, then how can we amplify the positive effect using technology? So those are really the metrics that we are defining on each of the project depending upon nature of the project.
So, Tanuja, thank you so much for your time. This has been a great conversation, and all the best for going forward in Sky.
Thank you, Sridhar, for having me here. And I really enjoyed discussing these projects and ideas with you. Thank you.